Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Putri Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravaya Tacharya Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam lambate guru. Yat kupatam ham vande Shri Gurun Dina Tarini. Hare Krishna. So today we'll see verse number 2 of chapter 8, Attaining the Supreme. This is the 8th chapter. Is continuation of the 7th chapter, last two verses, where Krishna has mentioned about how a person can remember him, or Krishna mentioned that a yogi can remember Krishna at the time of death. Also, he used some words. Now, based on those words, Arjuna is asking the questions. So, yesterday we saw in the first verse, Arjuna asked questions about what is Brahman, what is Adhyatma, and what is Adi Bhuta, and who is Adi Daivam. So let's see the second verse where Arjuna is continuing his question. Adi yagya katham ko atra dehe asmin madhusudana prayan kale cha katham neyo asi nityatmabhi katha athi yagya katham ko atra
Adhiyagya katham ko atra
dehe asmin madhusudana
dehe asmin madhusudana
prayan kale cha katham
prayan kale cha katham
neyosi niyatatmabhi.
neyosi niyatatmabhi.
Please chant.
Adhiyagya katham ko atra dehe asmin madhusudana prayan kale cha katham yeyosi niyatatmabhi.
Adiyagya katam kotra tehesmin madhusudana prayanakale cha katam gneyosini yatatmabhihi.
Adhiyagya katham kotra dehe asmi madhusudana prayanakale cha katham geyosi niyatatmavi.
Okay, translation and purport. Thank you very much. Who is the Lord of sacrifice, Adi Yagya? How does he live in the body, O Madhusudana? And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? Purport. Lord of sacrifice may refer to either Indra or Vishnu. Vishnu is the chief of primary demigods, including Brahma and Shiva, and Indra is the chief of administrative demigods. Both Indra and Vishnu are worshipped by yajna performances. But here Arjuna asks, who is actually the Lord of yajna sacrifice and how the Lord is residing within the body of the living entity? Arjuna addresses the Lord as Madhusudana because Krishna once killed a demon named Madhu. Actually, these questions, which are of the nature of doubts, should not have arisen in the mind of Arjuna because Arjuna is Krishna conscious devotee. Therefore, these doubts are like demons. Since Krishna is so expert in killing demons, Arjuna here addresses him Madhusudan so that Krishna might kill the demonic doubts that arise in Arjuna's mind. Now, the word prayana kali in this verse is very significant because whatever we do in life will be tested at the time of death. Arjuna is very anxious to know of those who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness. What should be their position at final moment? At the time of death, all the bodily functions are disrupted and the mind is not in proper condition. Thus, disturbed by the bodily situation, one may not be able to remember the Supreme Lord. Maharaj, Kuru Shekhara, a great devotee, prays, my dear Lord. Just now I am quite healthy and it is better that I die immediately so that the swan of my mind can seek entrance at the stem of your lotus feet. The metaphor is used because the swan, a bird of the water, takes pleasure in digging into the lotus flowers. Its sporting proclivity is to enter the lotus flower. Maharaj Kurushekara says to the Lord, now my mind is undisturbed and I am quite healthy. If I die immediately thinking of your lotus feet, then I am sure that my performance of your devotional service will be perfect. But if I have to wait for my natural death, then I do not know what will happen because at that time, the bodily function will be disturbed, my throat will be choked, and I do not know whether I shall be able to chant your name. Better let me die immediately. Arjuna questions how a person can fix his mind on Krishna's lotus feet at such a time. So here Arjuna is asking the further questions, which are basically have connection to the last verse of the last chapter. So last verse was Sadi Bhutadhi Daivam Mam Sadi Yajnam Chaye Vidu Prayan Kale Cha Mam Te Vidur Yukta Chetasa. So here Krishna is mentioning those who know Adi Yagya, who is Adi Yagya and Adi Daiva. And those yogis, they know who this, they can remember me at the time of death. So there the words Adi Deva, Adi Yagya are coming. So Arjuna wanted to know the context of these words in Krishna's conversation. He's asking clearly who is Adi Yagya and how we can remember him at the time of death. So here word Madhusudana is coming. So Madhusudan words is used several times. I think in the first chapter, second chapter also this is coming, where Arjuna is requesting him to remove his grief. So I was just checking actually what this, because in there is no brief description about killing of Madhu demon in Bhagavatam. Of course, Srila Prabhupada gives reference in the purports, but like other demons, Madhu demon is not directly mentioned. But there is a story of killing of Madhu and Kaitabha, those two demons. So when Brahma was given in charge of creation and he was in meditation, from Vishnu's ears, the wax came and the two demons, Madhu and Kaitab, were born from his ear, Vishnu's ears. And they did tapascharya of Lakshmi for a long time. And then Lakshmi gave them boon that they have Ichha Maran. So they will only die when they desire. And because of which they become very powerful. And they threatened Brahma also. And Brahma, being used to meditation and focusing on Supreme Lord, he was not uh, in a position to fight with the demons or do the war. So he requested Vishnu. So at that time, Vishnu used his mind or the way to kill, because Ichamar and he cannot also kill them because boon was given by Lakshmi. So during the fight with Madhu and Kaitab, after a long time, Vishnu said to them that he praised them. Oh, you are a very great fighter and all these things, and then you should give me some boon. And because of the pride and the ego, the demon said, okay, what boon you want? At that time, Vishnu said, okay, I want your death. And that's how they were killed. So it was Vishnu's trick to the demons. Of course, Lakshmi also helped him. So, like the similar that's the reference I found for Madhusudana. So, like that, Arjuna is also asking, like, how you kill the demons, Madhu and Kaitava, you also remove my doubts. So, there, if the Bilvamangal Thakur also gives a metaphor that Madhusudan also means sweeter than Madhu. Madhu is honey. So, like the demons were very puffed up with the pride, and their pride was the pride of the demons actually killed them. So, like that, our false ego is also very dear to us. So it's like honey; it's very dear to us, and we carry our false ego, and we try to satisfy our ego. So, so Krishna can actually remove our false ego. So that's why he's called Madhusudan. So Bilamangal Thakur says that that's how we should request Krishna, that you remove my false ego. Because of that false ego, I am doing so many activities, I am getting attached. So that is also one meaning, Madhusudana. And the second sentence, Prayana Kale Jakatham Neyo Asi Niyatatmabhi. So at the time of death, how we can remember you, so that we will get the ultimate destination. So Srila Prabhupada gives a reference from Kulashekara. It's not very easy to remember Krishna at the time of death, right? So it depends what we have done throughout our life. It's not that some people say that, okay, at the time of death, I will remember Krishna, then I will go to Krishna, then why I have to do throughout my life. But if we don't do throughout our life, we'll create so many attachments. And at the time of death, we will think of our attachments only. So the devotee should always, throughout his life, try to attach his mind to Krishna. So at the time of death also, we will remember Krishna if we are attached. Of course, devotee's mercy is required. Also, Krishna's mercy is required. But we should try ourselves. So this chapter actually give, because the chapter's name Srila Prabhupada, attaining the supreme. So Prayana Chale Chakatham. So based on this sentence, this chapter mainly focuses on this line, how we can remember Krishna at the time of death, and how by remembering different devtas or different things we achieve those. And how by remembering Krishna we achieve it. So this chapter has many verses which give reference to, which are more elaborate explanation of this Prayana Kale Chakatham. And also the word Niyatatmabhi, by Niyata means control. So Atmabhi, Niyatatmabhi, self-controlled. So if we are throughout our life, we are self-controlled and we control our mind and ego, then at the time of death, there is chance that we can remember Krishna. Or at least Krishna will do some arrangement so that we can remember Krishna. He will do such arrangement of our death or our last moment where we can naturally remember Krishna. So for that we have to be, throughout our life we should be self-controlled. Niyatatmavi. So of course there will be occasional fall downs, occasional problems, occasional diversion from the path, but we have to bring it back. Wherever we get diverted, we again bring it back towards Krishna. So by this is called Niyata, so self-controlled. So it's not that 24 hours we will be able to do it, but at least we should try to bring it back, And that is what is our endeavor. So Krishna will answer the questions from Arjuna in next few verses. Or this chapter actually is the answer to all these questions. So we will also understand the context Krishna used these words in the last chapter, and also why Arjuna wanted to know this from Krishna, because every word can have different meanings in different context. Like every sentence also, or every instruction also has some context why it was spoken or why it was given. So if we don't know the context and we just pick up the sentences, then there is quite chance of creating misunderstandings, misinterpretations. So Arjuna don't want to fall into all those things. So that's why he's asking Krishna only that you only tell this meaning, so that I don't use my interpretation, or nobody uses their own interpretation while defining how we can remember Prayana Kali. So we'll see the answers by Krishna from to all these questions from the next verse. And this chapter is actually giving us the direction how we can niyatatma be, how we can be controlled and focused on the goal of remembering Krishna at the time, at our last time. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any comments, any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you are talking about the occasional fallbacks, like many times it happens. So I have seen that many times it happens that that there is a fall, but the person is not understand. He is not in such condition that he is getting like he's falling down. So if we are able to see that, then how can we like try that person to get back to the track?
Yeah, so Krishna says, right, my devotee will never perish. So if we see somebody going away from the track, of course we should try, but sometimes it happens that the person who is going away from the track is not in a position to listen to us, or even if we tell something, he will take it wrongly. Right. So
Yes, yes.
at that time, it's better we don't force, because I heard in one lecture that Srila Prabhupada's pastimes also, right, in Hawaii and all, in the Prabhupada Lilamrut, there were devotees who were joining Srila Prabhupada and who were going away from the movement because of some reasons. So at that time, Srila Prabhupada used to get very sad, and some few devotees used to meet Prabhupada while before going. And Srila Prabhupada used to be very emotional when somebody will say that I want to go. Srila Prabhupada used to say that you have done great service to me and Krishna. So this may be your temporary gap in doing the devotional service. But Srila Prabhupada always used to see that I will pray to Krishna that he brings you back, or he keeps you in a situation that will bring you back to the devotional service. That's in the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrut. There's some stories, not stories, the pastimes are mentioned. So sometimes it will be out of our hand also. So at that time we have to actually pray. And of course, everybody has free will, and they can exercise their free will the way they want. So if somebody wants to away or go away or do something different, we have to respect the free will, but at the same time we should try to give an impression to that person that if you want to come back, you can come back anytime. So that will actually encourage that person in future if there is a situation where he thinks whether I should go back. It should not be happen that that person will think, if I go back, everybody will laugh at me or everybody will make fun of me. We should not lose that impression. That's what Srila Prabhupada, Sri Lamrut mentions, that we should always have an impression that gives a positive image of the for the person to come back. So that's what I have read in Lamrut. So that helps actually.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. It's very helpful. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you very much. So let's see from tomorrow answers by Krishna, which are very important for us also. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.